If this monk can sit there, burn to death without a blink of an eye, whatever power this human attained, I need to know and attain.
Last night we were talking about the monk who lit himself on fire during that protest.
Yeah.
Yes, in Vietnam. And you were saying that was a recruiting call. That was not sort of a protest based on the gasoline exports or anything like that.
So if you understand, if you understand the way they think, the Buddhist monks, and it's very, very similar to the shamans or the men of knowledge, so to speak.
Can you pull up that photo, Steve?
Of Mesoamerican history, right? When the Spaniards came and what happened there, they have a very similar way they relate to oppression, because the smooth seas won't make great sailors sort of idea,
right?
That spiritual or physical oppression will lead to your most rapid development as a person, right? And so if you know that they understand that concept, right? If you understand that concept, then you know that they're not going to get involved in political. The motivation is not political. And if you read the Dhammapada or any of the teachings, right, it's always the meaning of those teachings is dynamic. It's almost like you will understand what you're capable of understanding at the moment. And you read that same thing a couple of years from now, and it will mean something else. And that's the brilliance of that, right? And so there are so many of these teachings and these anecdotes that you read it and it might mean one thing, and then later you realize like, oh, that's just a seed, and there's some amazing things in there.
Right.
So if you understand how they think and how they operate, then you know that it's that there's a different motivation. So things that what you see on face value is usually not what it is, right? And that particular picture that we're talking about, to me that was a light tower moment. What I call a light tower moment is when you look at something and on face value this is a political protest, and as a political protest, this picture was one of the most famous picture in the time. I think it's 1962 when this happens.
Can you find out, Steve?
I think 62.
Pull up like the Wikipedia page about it.
And so so this triggered this major event of human rights, and so the picture was published everywhere, and it was a very well-known picture because how the world related to this, like the shocking element of like you see this monk motionless, right, just burning to the absolute most horrible death. Without flinching. Quan Duc, Take Quan Duc, right?
1963, June 11th.
Okay, there you go. So 63. So Kennedy was president, right? So
go back, Steve. I wanted to read that again.
Well, 63. So I think Kennedy was president at the time.
In June, he was still president. Yeah,
right. So this picture, this moment, right? Because of the nature of that picture, because how shocking that is, right? This became sort of and even if you read Wikipedia, it's probably still to this day going to relate to why this happened as a political event, right? And again, go back to how monks and how these guys actually think and operate. If you intimately understand that, then you know that this is the face value, but there is more to this. And what I meant by a light tower moment, that this was a perfect vehicle for the whole world to see this, because this picture was everywhere. And some of us, a small percent, but some of us saw this picture, and my question wasn't political. My question is like, hold on for a second. If this monk can sit there, burn to death without a blink of an eye, whatever power this human attained, I need to know and attain. That's incredible, right? So some of us looked at it like, oh, I need to investigate this. I need to get into meditation, Buddhism, right? Because I need to understand. This is superhuman.
Yes.
Right? So it's a light tower moment, because I wasn't the only one who thought of this. A pretty large amount of people saw it as, most of the people saw it as a political issue.
Yeah, right.
But a pretty large amount of people also saw it as I saw it. Like, hold on for a second. How is this possible? There's a miracle is happening right there. A miracle is happening right in front of us. If this monk came out and says, check it out, guys, I'm going to light myself on fire, I'm going to perform a miracle, nobody would have believed him. Everybody would question, like, oh, maybe there was some kind of an ointment, or everybody would have questioned that this is real. But because it was sort of presented as a political thing, it just kind of went through the system without being questioned. But those of us who see the world differently, those of us saw superhuman powers. That if this is humanly possible, I need to know how. I need to know how to calm my mind and how to put myself in that position that I can do this. And now if you think about it, at the time, Buddhism was kind of getting eradicated, and the knowledge that these guys were, the libraries were burnt, and the knowledge that they attained and put in libraries were being eradicated. So this picture probably recruited more people to Buddhism and to this path. And I don't even like to use the word Buddhism because it's an ism. But more people was recruited for this path than probably anything else they could have done.
Yeah.
Right?
Wow.
Because even though there is a small percent of people who saw it as an incredible human feat, right? That's still a huge number because the whole planet was exposed to this picture.
Can't even imagine.
Yeah, it really makes you
watching
think
in real time. It's just
I think there's video. There's video of it, and it's fucking
I keep trying to imagine what it's like to like stand there.
The immolation. That's the name
immolation.
of the immolation.
Yeah,
and and again, right there, you see something that humanly should not be possible.
No,
humanly should not. So right there, this picture should trigger you, and start you on a path that I need to know this. This is absolute control. Like this is when your mind has full control, and that is the point of meditation. That is the point of the whole path, that you attain that power when you have this incredible computer in your head, right?
Yes.
This mind of us, right? And then and the train of thought never stops. So this is a constant. There's always moving, right?
Steve, you can play it for us, but don't show it on the actual podcast because it'll get us freaking no, not copywritten, but it'll get banned. No, this isn't the same thing, isn't it? This is different.
Yeah, no, this is it.
This is really it.
I think so.
This is the same guy.
There were a couple of more.
Unless
so this wasn't the only
movie.
It's could be a movie, or there were a couple of more. So
I thought he did it to himself on the original one.
He did, yeah.
Yeah.
He poured the, I mean, his students were there, but
right.
So
those were his students.
Yeah, around him, yes.
Oh shit! I didn't even realize that.
Yeah. So ultimately, the point of meditation that you have this train of thought completely uncultivated, running free, right?
Yeah.
And there's this idea of mindfulness. If you at all time you're completely conscious of what your mind is doing. Think about it. You drive home, and I ask you, like, what did you see on the way home? What roads you took? I probably don't remember. You just autopilot
just
home,
automatic.
right?
Yeah.
Right. So that means, like, that's a simple proof of you were like, took you half an hour, let's say, to drive home. For a half an hour, you were not completely conscious of where your mind was and what it was doing. Or you're saying, like, hey, you know what? This idea popped in my mind. Well, I didn't just pop in your mind. Something triggered that idea. You saw something triggered it. And before this idea popped in your mind was doing something else. And you're not aware of what it was doing. So the ultimate way of existence is that you're at all times completely and fully aware what your mind is doing and thinking, and you're in control of that. Can you be depressed if you're in control? No. Can you have a suicidal thought? No. Can you have crazy thoughts? No. You're in control. And so we are not fully in control with our mind. And so the point of that meditation and what this Taekwondo achieved is that absolute control.
Wow.
So that picture right there has so many things in there.
It's like a fractal.
Yeah, there's so many things in there. Like you see a man in absolute control of his body and his mind.
Yeah.
And it seems superhuman. There's a lot packed in there.
It's crazy
some of us saw that as a light tower. That's why I call it the light tower event when you see this and you go, okay, I need to understand this. I need to learn this. I need to be barreling down that road, that path.